In my last video, I covered the best possible special combinations for all matchups in the game. And in almost every single one, I recommended Feint Jump as down special. But why is it so good? What makes it good? And how do you use it to its full potential? I'm going to start by explaining its offensive capabilities, then its defensive uses, and finally some move-specific properties which make it so effective in the first place. Make sure to watch until the end, as knowing the stuff from the last part makes the difference between living to 150% consistently and dying at 50. Before we start, I just want to quickly ask you, yes, you specifically, to subscribe to the channel. Most of you guys aren't yet subscribed, and it would make me really happy to see you support me in this quick and simple way. It really helps a lot. First, let's talk about Feint Jump's offensive options. Punishing projectiles has never been easier than with Feint Jump. The moment you see Simon running away to throw a cross, a Samus using missile, or a Pikachu jumping to go in with a Thunder Joke, Feint Jump is quick enough to punish them even across stage. Doing this consistently conditions the opponent to wait until they see what you are doing, which gives you more than enough time to run in and pressure their shield. Feint Jump alone makes matchup against projectile zoners way more doable than without it. To make this option even more safe, Feint Jump also straight up deletes a good part of all projectiles. So even if your opponent throws something at your way, there's a good chance you will straight up power through it. Similar to projectiles, you can also use it to call out jumps and especially dashes. Characters who like to dash dance at mid to long range, like Captain Falcon or Greninja, have to respect Mii Brawler's dash attack as a quick disruption tool. This will force them to dash dance a little further away to avoid an instant dash attack. And at that point, they are in perfect range for an instant Feint Jump kick. Keep in mind that the kick is reactable, so this should only be used as a mix-up and when you think the opponent doesn't expect it. Next up is a more specific application. Mii Brawler's options to edgeguard are pretty limited, while his ledge trapping is definitely top tier. As a result, going for 2 frames and then ledge trapping the opponent is often more optimal. 2 framing against recoveries, however, which hit over the ledge, is impossible or very hard for most characters. Feint Jump though has not only a decently large hitbox, the kick is also active during its whole duration. As a result, trading or beating those moves is surprisingly simple and consistent. For a more radical approach, you can use Feint Jump's long and quick range for a surprise edgeguard against a laggy recovery move, or against rather disjointed move. While this puts you at a comparatively large risk, it might still be a viable option in quite a few matchups. Lastly, at higher percent, Neutral Air also can combo into Feint Jump for a kill at ledge. Whether you can make it back after that mainly depends on the rest of your moveset. While you shouldn't underestimate Feint Jump's offensive potential, where it really shines is defense. And the most obvious point in that regard is recovery. Mii Brawler gains a massive boost in offstage survivability by having the option to recover high using Feint Jump from anywhere close to the blast zone. You can double jump Feint Jump kick high, Feint Jump double jump high SAK, Feint Jump fast fall double jump up B. The amount of mix-ups Brawler can do with this move makes his recovery incredibly difficult to edgeguard. Similar to that, you can use Feint Jump to directly snap to ledge quickly after being launched off stage. Another benefit here is that you can bypass one or both frames of vulnerability when grabbing the ledge by positioning yourself slightly above it. At the same time, there's always the potential for a reverse edgeguard with the Feint Jump stomp, which spikes at a nasty angle and can catch double jumps back to stage. With the opponent having to respect that many options, Mii Brawler's offstage game goes from predictable to dangerous to mess with. Feint Jump has a useful property of cancelling all momentum you had before, similarly to Cheek's Bouncing Fish or ZSS Flip Jump. It also leans back your hurt box. In combination, this allows you to live up to 5% longer when launched horizontally. A quick mobility move with long range isn't just useful to escape pressure off stage but also on stage. You can use it to simply regain stage control or push it to the max by circle camping on large stages. Finally, you can also use the move to escape certain combos. Feint Jump has 3 invulnerability frames on frame 2, 3 and 4, which isn't a lot, but sometimes enough to slip through a tight hitbox, and is just slightly faster than an air dodge, as well as less committal. So in some situations, it might be the better option than mashing air dodge or jump. Now that we've gone over the possible applications, we need to talk about some weird but important properties of the move. As you might have noticed, when landing with it, the move has horrendous amounts of landing lag. The kick itself is -27 on shield, and even just the jump has 29 frames of landing lag. This means knowing the autocancel timing is crucial for defensive play. Fortunately, if you feint jump and instantly kick at the peak of your double jump, you will just barely get the autocancel timing, allowing you to land with no extra lag. For the jump without the kick, it is enough to start at the peak of a full hop. This however means that whenever you use the move anywhere lower than that height, you need to know how to mix up your options to avoid a punish as much as possible. First, it is important to know that you can significantly shorten or lengthen the distance traveled by the jump by holding left or right during the move. So even mid-air, you can still control your movement to a certain degree. Also, the time to input the kick is very generous. So in combination, you can do a long jump and instant kick, a long jump and delayed kick, a short jump and delayed kick, a short jump and instant kick in the other direction, and so on. It is very important to keep the opponent guessing whether you are going to hit their shield, at which timing you're going to do it, and if you want to cross them up. This way, even if the opponent is ready to shield and punish, they still need to wait until they know which option you went for. Learning these mix-ups will give your opponent much less opportunity to abuse Feint Jump's only flaw, its lag. Lastly, it is useful to know how the kick interacts with airborne and grounded opponents. The aerial version is not only stronger, but also sends at a much lower angle. So don't expect Feint Jump killing opponents on the ground, but rather in the air. Keep this in mind when weighing risk and reward when going for the kill percent. And that's it for my guide on how to use Feint Jump. If you learned something, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. My goal is to reach 1000 subscribers by the end of the year, and with your help that might just be possible. Thanks a lot, until the next video.